Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Impressionable, an Allen production, with your hosts Aesthetic Allen, Healthy Hunter, and Reactive Raven. This week, the Triggy Trio talk about stories that don't look very good on a resume. It's time for High School Stories. Please prepare thy excuses and enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Impressionable podcast. Here we discuss anything that interests us and compete to see who can bring the most impressionable story to the table. The person who leaves the biggest impression on the judge, who is me this week, will win and get the host next week's episode. Here I'm with my friends, Alan and Hunter. And well, how are you guys doing today? Anything interesting, small talk, you know?
Nick, why did it sound like you were reading that from a, from your phone or
We
something?
don't have a script. This is an unscripted podcast.
We're not one of those podcasts where we read lines.
That sounded
intro.
very
This is
scripted.
entirely
No.
unscripted.
Anyways, how's your guys' days? Anything interesting?
I celebrated the 4th of
last
July
time.
yesterday.
I
Dude,
did
me too.
It was really depressing for me.
Screw you, Nick.
I saw a bunch of smoke next to my house.
Hey, Hunter,
Someone's house
I'm
burned
not gonna
down.
lie, I kind of wish I did 4th of July with you.
Yeah. Screw you.
One of
I
the
asked
biggest
you
fireworks I
first.
saw.
And you went to McKenna's instead.
Actually, McKenna.
Did you go to your girlfriend's house and started hanging out with...
I got invited to about 5 different places, and I had a great time with McKenna.
And
Yeah,
you
but who
picked
asked you
your
first?
girlfriend?
But I'm gonna be honest. Biggest fire we had was pretty much poppers.
You're kidding.
Poppers?
No, it was a really depressing fireworks show.
We had mortar, dude. We had a mortar that we shot off. So there's big mortar tubes and small mortar tubes. The small ones have
Yeah.
smaller rounds, right?
Yeah.
I put a small mortar round in a big tube and I lit it. And
What?
it went maybe 20, 30 feet up in the air and exploded.
Yeah, dude, we had the big mortars too, but we did not have the small ones.
And
Why?
my sister, mom, and Brandon all were like, "Was this supposed to do that?" And I was like, "Yeah."
No.
And then I looked over at my dad. I was like, "It was not supposed to do that." And he's like, "Yeah, I know." It was pretty fun though. Our biggest fire, we didn't have like the big
Actually-
ones that we did last year. Our biggest one though was one we saved for the final, and it was basically, it sounded like war. So it did like a whole bunch of like machine gun fire, and then it done like
So it was like a
bomb.
warthog coming down.
yeah, it did a whole bunch of bombings, and then we thought it stopped. So as soon as my dad and I started walking to it, it started doing machine gun fire again.
You want to know something funny that you just reminded me of? I actually almost died the other day
Yeah,
What?
because of my girlfriend's dad.
how?
So, you know the one of he only got one of these packs where it's like a rocket on the end of a stick and you put it in the ground and you light it
Yeah.
and it shoots up and it does like a small little
The
explosion.
bottle
Yeah.
rocket?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
The bigger bottle rockets?
Yeah, and like he couldn't stick it on the ground because it was too rough. So his idea was, we'll get a cardboard box to hold it up.
I like where
And
this
I
is
was like,
going.
wait. I was like, wait, hold on. Cardboard's flammable. And he's like, you're right. Then he gets a plastic jug out with a perfectly fine hole from where the liquid is supposed to come out.
Mm-hmm.
He takes a knife to the side of it and slowly just makes a little hole, jams in there where like the stick gets stuck. Like I would have to like forcefully take it out to move it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's too tight.
So then he goes to light it, and me and him are standing about like 10 feet away from it. Because, we're expecting to go up and stuff. He lights it, fuse starts to go, fuse goes all the way, it doesn't move, and explodes right in front of us.
Yeah, so those fireworks you're actually supposed to put in like a metal pole in the ground.
I told him what we did, because I remember being at your house, and I've done that at my house before, where you put it in like in a water bottle, and like
No.
it just supports it.
We
Or,
didn't
like,
even
just-
put it in a water bottle. Oh, are you talking about the small bottle rockets or like the giant bottle rockets
had
that
a-
go up and
We
shoot?
had they had like the medium version of that. And I was thinking back to the small ones, like, oh, you usually just have like a decently sized hole where like wood goes around in there, you light it
Yeah.
and it goes up, like for stability. He jammed it through a hole that was tight.
Yeah,
Didn't go anywhere and exploded. Like I had like, and the thing is when it explodes, there's fireballs that come out of it. So the fireball shot at us.
Yeah, so if you took like a PVC pipe or like a metal pipe and you stuck it in the ground and put it in the pipe with the fuse hanging off the pipe where you can light it, it would shoot. It will actually go up into the air. That's what we did tonight or last night.
And for small bottle rockets, we have a little wooden pole that has a hole drilled down into it, and we just stick those down in there.
Yeah, we had a big enough pole where we could do small and large bottle rockets out of.
That's fancy.
Yeah, wish he was that. No, ingenuity did not exist. But anyways, and one small thing, I would like everyone to wish my brother luck tomorrow. He is having surgery.
Well,
He's going to get his chest fixed.
by the time they see this, it'll have already happened.
Yeah.
Wish my brother good luck for January 6th. This totally does not date the episode when we are officially recording.
Yeah, we are. These are not pre-recorded.
Not at all. But
What is-
anyways, we're going to move
what's
on
the
to today's topic. Today's topic is going to be called High School Stories. All three of us are in high school.
Any story that's in high school.
Any story that relates to you in high school.
Legal or
something that
illegal?
Anything goes.
Well, Hunter, just a recommendation.
And
I would recommend.
I already know what
keeping the
story you're
illegal
talking
ones
about.
down for now.
Oh, so we shouldn't mention the.
Since you guys have gotten away with it already, technically you're fine. So, and I'm going to be very lenient on this, okay?
Mhm.
So, when I say high school stories, I mean, as long as it's associated with high school in general, then it's fine. Like for example, the story I'm going to kick off today involves me with football. Football is with high school, so technically I count. So it can be anything with marching band. If you're on school property or with the school in some way, somehow, I'll count it.
You know, Alan and I are together like 99% of the time, so our stories are basically the exact same.
I'm sure the story that I want to tell, Hunter wants to tell as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's basically whoever tells it first. And I will be scoring points.
Alan, I'll let you tell it. I'm pretty sure it's going to give you
I
a
want
win.
titles. Well, hold on. I want you guys to think of titles while I give my introduction story.
Okay.
Of what the whole reason why I wanted to make this high school stories. So I started playing football for school technically 8th grade, and I sucked. Terrible. Middle school football was easy. He didn't care if we were good or bad. But then when I went over as a freshman, some workouts, summer practice, it was a whole different game. The seniors literally beat the shit out of us every day. I am not kidding. I would go home with bruises on my stomach or throat because we would get throat punched or gut punched or our helmets ripped off. Terrible. Made me tougher and made me the football player I am today. And made me tougher as a person. But that's not how I first originally got introduced to high school football. And it goes back to our very first scrimmage of the year. And first time I've seen our team play together against another team. And I want to give context as to this story. It's not even an actual game. It was a scrimmage. There wasn't even point scoring or anything. The schools just show up together and we just play ball. It wasn't supposed to be taken seriously. Or at least that seriously, but it ended up being very serious. So what happened was, as time went on, our seniors and their seniors were talking trash to each other. There was definitely quarrels going on. You can tell people were getting pissed. And for some reason, we have refs there that were doing unfair reffing, and both sides would get mad. So everyone was getting mad.
Mm-hmm.
And it boiled down to one moment where one of their guys lost it. Took one of our guys, threw him over his back, ripped off his helmet, and just started wailing on his head. Our entire football team ran out onto the field. Their entire football team ran onto the field. And for about 5 minutes, we all just fist fought each other. It was literally a scene out of it. I'm not kidding. I still have scars on my knuckles from punching people with pads and helmets on.
That takes
That
balls.
day, like, I am not kidding. You can ask anyone that was there. We literally all fist fought. Just imagine a bunch of strong, fat, sweaty men duking it out. The coaches ran out there too. And the refs were in there. The coaches and refs were trying to break all up. They're trying to break up a fight that was around like 100 people. We had big football teams.
Man. Alright, that's another reason
And
for me not to
slowly-
join football.
No, man. You should join it.
This was my first introduction to high school football. It wasn't even a game. It didn't matter who won or lost. It was a scrimmage, and we fist fought over that.
That's pretty great.
And they finally broke it up after like 8 minutes of fighting, like hardcore.
Wait,
I don't know if there was-
they let this go on for 5 to 8 minutes.
Yes, they could not break it up.
No, I'd like to
would
think
stop
that they
it.
just like watched and ate popcorn.
I know that I could hear the people in the stands screaming like, "Yeah, get him, sock him in the mouth." I'm not kidding.
God.
They finally broke it up. Like, it was so bad. We didn't even resume the game. Everyone just called it quits. The refs were like, "We're done. We're not reffing this anymore. We're calling it quits." Everyone was just done.
That's awesome.
That was a scrimmage. And then we went back into the huddle. Our coach was like, "Boys, I'm proud of you today.
That's awesome.
You fought and defended your own. This is what it means to be a team and family." And that was my introduction to high school football.
That is
It's
awesome.
going to show how much of a team player you were.
Yeah, I still got the scars. I couldn't have asked for a better introduction to high school football. Now, today, I'm looking for stories as crazy as this. It's like so unbelievable that it should be like from a movie.
Oh,
I
well,
want stories like this today.
that's not going to get you far.
No.
I mean, y'all know
Well,
a
I'm
lot of
kidding.
my stories is the thing.
Well, it's just whoever can tell the story first and best. And I want titles. I will be scoring points for titles. And overall, throughout the story, I will be tallying points.
Uh-huh.
And if I think it's bad, I will remove points. Alright,
Okay.
so during my story, did you guys prepare titles?
Yes.
What you
Yes.
plan on saying? Alright, Alan, what's the title for your story?
My title is The Trunk Incident.
Okay. I'll give you 2 points.
Honestly, you should have called it The Death of Hunter.
Alright.
Why, you were
Hunter?
fine. You were the...
I
Yeah.
almost died.
You know what, that's
Hunter,
true.
what's your story called? What's the
I'm just
title?
going to call it Drag Queening.
Oh, 3 points. Did not expect that.
That's a good
I don't know,
title,
wait,
man.
what story are- I actually don't know what story you're going to tell.
Alan's was there during this.
You
I
know
think.
what? Just for that, I want you to tell me drag queen.
Alright, so it
I
was
am intrigued.
probably 2 to 3 nights before the actual event took place. I was in a guard group chat, Winter Guard.
Okay.
And I made a snarky comment saying that I would rock a dress, right?
Okay.
Not expecting, to actually wear a dress eventually. Well, one of the seniors at the time was like, "All right, I'll bring a dress next practice." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, bring high heels with that too." She's like, "Okay." Which senior?
Yes.
Jasmine Franklin. This was my
Alright,
freshman year.
But, man, we
Freshman
all
year.
had so far great starts to our high school life.
And she decided, she was like, "Okay." That day comes around, okay? After school, I see her pull out a dress from her backpack and high heels. And I don't know if you
Please
were
tell me
there,
it's
Alan.
black.
I don't remember if you were there or
I
not.
wasn't there.
Please tell me it was black.
But no, actually, the high heels were black. I look over at Chandler, and I'm like, "You've got to be kidding!" So, the guard instructor, like, before practice started, we stretch and all that, and during that time, she let me go into the bathroom.
Please tell me that you were stretching in a dress. You did stretches in a dress and high heels. I just imagine you do yoga stretches and
go into the bathroom and change into a dress. I had my buzz cut then.
Oh yeah. Oh, so wait, were you like a
you
cancer patient in the dress?
What?
So I'm just imagining right now, cancer victim Hunter in a dress.
Yes, I was a bald man in a dress, and because of respect, I kept my gym shorts on under it because.
I don't think you're getting. You're not keeping any respect or dignity after that.
So I walk out of the bathroom. Cheerleaders are practicing as well, and the cheerleaders go wild. And I am strutting along in the high heels and in the dress. My calf's popping. And I strike poses in front of cameras and all that. I gotta own it.
I mean, you go all the way. You had to go all the way.
I went all the way. I wore the dress for like 30 minutes before I was able to take it off. I didn't have a shirt on under it.
Great.
And I did stretch in the dress.
Oh,
I spun in the dress. No, I didn't wear makeup.
You should have had them to get like makeup, a wig, and everything.
And every once in a while, that picture keeps reoccurring.
That picture's
and funny thing about that, that picture is actually going up on our webpage. Go check it out.
It is?
I understand it.
It is now.
I don't have it.
Hey, Hunter, could you do us?
I'm going to have to send it to Alan now.
You are? Look.
All right. I'll send it to you.
Impressionable want to see one of our co-hosts in a dress.
And
buzz cut.
I almost wore it again this year, or not the same dress,
Why?
but another dress.
Why?
Because I opened my big mouth again and said something about a wedding dress.
Yeah, you need to
Luckily,
stop opening your mouth.
Right? Luckily, I didn't have to wear a wedding dress.
Who was going to buy you a wedding dress?
It's just a wedding dress that. Yeah, it was. Someone just had a wedding dress from their mom, and I was like,
"You were gonna wear someone else's mom's
that or a prom dress?" Yeah, I was gonna either wear a wedding dress or a prom dress.
They should have given you lingerie with it.
Yeah, like I was rocking it too. I rocked that dress. It was an ugly dress, but I rocked it.
I need to ask you a serious question. All right?
Yeah, man. No, I'm not gay.
Have you ever questioned your sexuality?
No, I can't say I have.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because you say you haven't, but yet you're saying like the gayest stuff I've ever heard.
I had to commit. I said I'd wear a dress. I had to wear the dress. I'm a man of my word. I ain't gonna chicken out of it.
If you admit you're gay right now, I'll give you 5 points.
I'm not gay.
I'm taking away 2.
What? What?
I'm taking away 2.
That's fair.
All right, Alan.
That's heterosexual.
Oh, yeah, Hunter, you don't have to send me that picture. That's going up on the website either way.
Have you found it?
Yeah, I found it.
Of course you did.
Oh, perfect.
Of course
Alan,
you did.
All right.
Go ahead with the trunk story.
The trunk incident. So
trunk incident. Wait, what was the year? You gotta put the year at the end of it.
Sophomore year.
Oh, it's actually the last part of sophomore year.
Yeah, but it was still sophomore year.
Yeah.
So, great way to start off the next year, basically.
Yeah, well, not start off, but, anyways. It was, I'd say this was about a few, like 1 or 2 weeks after I got my driver's license.
Wait, that happened when it was 2 weeks after you just got. Oh my god! No, I'm giving you a point for being a badass. Continue.
Alright, so I had the great idea to take both Hunter and Jerry home after school, even though that's kind of illegal. Well,
Not kind of, it is. But anyways.
the way I thought I could avoid this was getting Jerry to ride in the trunk instead of in the seat.
Why not just commit and just be like, yeah, he's in there? I mean, I did it.
Well,
No, I never got pulled over. No one questioned, like, pulled me over. I was like, hey, how old are you, kid?
Well-
You're going to stuff. I like how you chose between Hunter and Jerry, and you chose Jerry to be in the
well,
trunk.
of course
If
Jerry's
you-
going to go in the trunk.
If you look like you know what you're doing, no one's gonna question you.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, it's kinda too
But
late for that
anyways,
now.
continue. You know, I'm giving you a point, another point for making Jerry be the one being in the trunk.
Alright, so, while Jerry was in the trunk, we were about to drive out of the parking lot, but we thought, maybe we could just drive around the parking lot a little bit, kind of like maniacs. So we did that. That probably hit around like 20 miles an hour in the parking lot, so, like,
Oh, the school zone, perfect.
like kind of fast, but not too terribly fast,
I mean, technically, wait, isn't school zones like 15?
Yeah.
I mean,
learned
you're
that
only
after.
going 5 over.
Yeah.
But still at school zone.
Mhm.
Anyways, continue.
So then we, while we were driving around, we started changing places, right? Hunter rode in the trunk, I rode in the trunk. Other people were driving. And, well,
You all just played what was that game called? Where there's music and chairs and
Musical chairs?
musical chair. Yeah, you're playing musical chairs in the car, but instead it was the driver's seat, the passenger seat, and the trunk.
And there's no music.
yeah, there was no
There was
music.
no music. It was just crazy people in a parking lot, on a school parking lot.
Yeah.
Nonetheless,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there
With
were still
cameras and
people in the
everything.
parking lot, by the way.
you know, Alan, every law that you broke that day, I will give you 1 point.
All right, so
So, speeding, reckless driving,
Mhm.
other people driving your car without them being on your insurance.
and they didn't have licenses either.
I didn't have. All right, continue. Let me know any other laws that you broke that day.
Well, so while Jerry was driving and Hunter was in the trunk, Hunter was getting out of the trunk, but Jerry didn't know this. So Jerry thought the best thing to do at that moment would be to press on the gas while Hunter was getting out of the trunk. So he fell out of the trunk, and he hit his wrist on the pavement, and he had to wear a brace on his wrist for, what was it, like a week or a few days?
Yeah, we.
Honor, how bad did you actually hurt your wrist? It was
The
just
bone was
sprained?
bruised.
Oh,
It wasn't
I mean,
like.
at least you didn't snap it.
Yeah, it wasn't like surgery needed.
Jerry could have gotten a manslaughter charge.
Honestly, Alan would have gotten in trouble as well.
Yeah. Well, and also in that parking lot there was a parent and there was a car that had 2 blonde girls in it. Just remember that. And the parent,
Okay.
whenever Hunter fell out of the trunk, the parent came over like, "Oh my gosh, you okay?" Hey, the parent said nothing to the school. And then after that, we decided it was best to drive away. And then we came back the next day, and while me and Hunter were in a choir class, the SRO and Mr. Hill came in. They're like, "Hey, can we see Hunter and Alan for a second?" So they brought us into the cafeteria, and they
At the cafeteria.
yeah, I don't know why. I think there was like something
Weird.
going on in Mr. Hill's office or something. I'm not sure.
You know what? -1 point for being in the cafeteria. All right, continue.
All right, so
It feels great having power.
They were talking at us about it because the 2 blonde girls that were in the parking lot snitched on us. They were
Wait, were the blonde girls like go to school?
Yeah.
yeah.
Who were? Did you ever find out
Nope.
who they were?
Well, I have their
Nope.
license plate number.
Why?
What? Wait, what?
Well, because I remembered what car it was, and one day I was driving, I was like, "Oh, look, that's them. I'm gonna write down their license plate number."
Do you still have a grudge on them to this day?
Yeah, I'm gonna find them.
Yeah, screw them.
That sounded a little sinister there, Alan,
I'm-
but continue.
I'm gonna find them. So they were talking to us. They were mainly yelling at me. They said
They were yelling?
if they caught us while we were doing it, they would have they would have taken my license and sent me to MAP. But
Oh.
luckily that didn't happen. And instead we just got a very stern warning.
Convict.
And me and Hunter, we were being interrogated together. We may or may not have told some of the truth about what actually happened.
Some of the truth? What do you
Yeah.
mean? I don't remember this part of the story.
I was like straightforward with them for the most part. We kept Jerry's name out of it.
No, we didn't.
Or for the most, Jerry never got talked to. We said Jerry was in the trunk. We didn't tell him that I drove or anything like that.
We just said that I drove around the parking lot with Jerry in the trunk. And they also said that we were driving like 70 miles an hour in that parking lot.
I didn't fall, or they don't know that I fell out of the
How would
trunk.
you even hit 70 in our parking lot?
I did. My car
You don't
cannot
have
hit
enough
70 in
room.
that parking lot.
You don't have enough room to do it.
And as far as they think we told them the entire truth, so they didn't check cameras.
Yeah, that's how we learned that they don't check the cameras unless they have a reason to.
Well, yet again, you know, guys, like, this is like your first offense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, this is the worst thing that I've been caught doing.
Did your parents ever know?
Yeah. They called my parents.
What-
They didn't call Hunter's parents. I hope his parents see this.
I'll forward it to them.
Oh, thanks, man.
Wait, what did your parents say?
They sat me down. They said and they could take my car away, but then they told me to look for cameras next time, and they didn't punish me
Wait.
any more than that.
But you're like, you did wrong, but when you do it next time, make sure you don't get in trouble.
Yeah,
Great life lesson.
yeah.
Honestly, though, like,
They've got kind of a point.
Like, they tell me I can do whatever I want as long as I don't get caught.
yeah, that's
You know
the
what?
moral
I'll
of
give
the
you
story.
A point for having cool parents.
Thanks, man.
All right. So, would you like to know the tally points so far between the stories of drag queen and the trunk incident of sophomore year?
Sure.
Hunter standing at a modest 4 points,
It's pretty good.
Nice.
and then Alan standing at a 8 points, literally double what.
Yeah,
Hunter
Hunter,
has.
you're not doing so good.
Yeah, I know. It's because I let you tell the good
And-
story.
And just for the audience at home, the points I'm not disclosing is just throughout the story. If there's like a funny part to it or a key detail that I personally like, I'm giving them a point for it. Most of the time, it's basically if you can get me to laugh, I will give you a point.
Mm-hmm.
Penis.
That's
Balls.
immediately 1 point. Or I think it's pandering to the judge, but you know, I'll give you both a point for that.
Yeah, Nick, you're pretty.
All right, taking a point away. All right. So now, you guys have any other high school stories you'd like to talk about? 'Cause if not, I have a lot of crazy things that I've done in football. If you guys need a break to contemplate stories from high school, I could probably tell it in the meantime.
I think I need a break.
All right. So, funny enough, this kind of has almost the same version. In football, I found out this is very violent. Turns out, who knew that football was a violent sport?
Yeah, never would have guessed that.
So, I remember. Actually, I have a better one that I'm going to tell that's funnier. It's not violent, it's just Me being a clumsy, stupid idiot in front of the entire school.
Mm-hmm.
So this was, I think, freshman year when we were doing the playoff games and stuff like that, and one of them was home and we won. And I don't know if you were there or not. I know you played like in the band and stuff. And you play at the games. I don't know if you saw or not at like the end of the game when we won. Where like the entire football team got together, took their helmets off. We all like swayed back and forth in front of the stands. You remember that?
We don't pay attention to the game.
Anyways, we did that after the game. We did that after the game,
All right.
and then we all got our helmets, and we all ran back to the locker room because every time we win a game, we go back to the locker room and do unspeakable things that I am not at liberty to discuss.
That's
But
fair.
on our run back, and this was when like everyone was still in the stands, all the parents and pretty good majority of the student section still was. I trip, fall to the ground, and took out like 2 other people with me
Uh-huh.
after we just won a playoff game. I've never been so embarrassed in my life. I remember even getting back up. My defense coach loves to make. I will not name his name. Is there somehow, some way, if he finds out about this, I just don't want to name his name. But our defense coach saw it happen. Was like, "God damn it, Nick!" That's exact word. Like he sounded like a disappointed parent. I've never been so embarrassed. It happened from the entire school and everything. I took out kids with me, other kids with me. When I tripped on my own feet somehow. Just God, that was.
That's a good
I'll
story.
never forget that. It's more of a short story of me just being an absolute idiot and clumsy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have came up with another story.
What is thine title?
We're gonna need more salt.
I am interested in this story already. You know, just for the title alone, 2 points.
Alright. This episode of Impressionable is brought to you by nobody. Because we're the only 3 people that know about this podcast right now.
That's pretty good, man.
Thanks, man. I worked really hard on that.
You know, you're not wrong.
Anyway, shut up.
Well,
This episode of Impressionable is brought to you by Manscaped.
hey, they didn't pay us. We're not gonna shout them out. But you know who did pay us in a certain way? Distractible. Because that podcast is the model for this podcast. There's like very small similarities between this one that I took from Distractible.
No, you didn't.
So yes, I did.
This
So I
is
just want to thank
distractible, but but teenagers.
Yeah, we're
This is
Teenage life.
Mark, Bob, and Wade, but younger.
Yes, exactly.
That's who
You guys in the
you
you guys down below, you guys can figure out which one of us is Mark, Bob, and Wade. I like you guys to decide.
You know we're not going to get
Yeah,
a single comment on this.
No,
Don't expect any views.
we get
But
one view, and like someone tells us who we are.
We are literally just doing this for the heck of it, Nick.
Yeah, we
Pretty much.
thought it'd be fun, so we did it.
Yep. And
hope
now
one
Nick
day-
is gay.
I
Yeah.
hope one day somehow, and if somehow by miracle, our podcast skyrockets, and we get a call from Distractible, like, "Hey, you want to do like a duo?
Yeah.
Duo?
Duo?
We-
A collab?
A
collab?
duo podcast."
I hope so. But anyway, I am just going to shout out Distractible. Well,
Yes,
because
we are
of what
sponsored
we're
by
doing.
Distractible.
We are sponsored by Distractible. This
We
is
ripped
an
everything
unpaid
off of them.
sponsorship that they don't even know about.
We ripped off the whole podcast idea, except the stories are 100% original and very embarrassing.
Yep, that's the only thing that's original, the stories.
Oh God, I hope people at school don't see this.
Oh, they're gonna see it.
Oh, no,
they
they're
actually
gonna know about
probably
the
will
day story.
somehow. They probably will somehow.
They're, honestly, they probably will.
If we don't say
Okay.
the school name, maybe. Oh wait, I did, didn't I?
Yeah, you did say Watertown High School.
Yeah.
They don't know which one. There's Watertown in New York.
There is a Watertown in New York.
But you did
There's also one in Connecticut. I think there's one in North or South Dakota.
you did say Watertown, Tennessee High School though,
Yeah, you said Watertown, you did say Middle Tennessee.
and Wilson.
There
County.
there could be multiple Watertowns in Tennessee.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. Alright, so the story starts a long time ago. It was, I want to say, hey, like a few months after the start of my junior year. I was under
Okay.
a bit of a, we'll just say a bit of a salt addiction.
A bit.
Man,
Yeah, just a bit.
how could that have started? I have.
How that started is another story for another day, but anyways, to feed my addiction, I went to a certain Taco Bell where Nick used to work.
Oh my God.
And
Yes.
I just asked for a bag of a bunch of salt packets, and I just kept asking for more until eventually he just took one of the bags that they get shipped and put it inside of the takeout bag. And I kept that bag of salt in my car for the longest time. And then one day, we were at marching band. We were like waiting for a football game or something to start. And we had an empty bottle. And we were like, what if we emptied all the salt packets into this bottle?
You filled a whole bottle of salt.
Yeah, with just salt packets, very tediously and slowly. So
Those salt packets had like 10 grains of salt in each of them.
and some of them were empty. So we
Wait,
had
really?
Yeah, we had a team of like 5 people that were just gathered around this bottle, just dumping salt packets into it. Like towards the end of it, we were sitting at one of the cafeteria tables with the bottle in the middle and just mounds of salt packets all around it. Now, I don't have a picture of that, but I do have a picture of the bottle after it was filled up. Which will be on the
I haven't
website,
even
by the
seen
way.
this.
And I have never been so ashamed
Look,
to be friends
we
with
had
Alan.
nothing better to do other than empty salt packets.
Were you
into
guys
this
really
bottle.
that bored before football games?
Yeah,
I didn't do it.
I did it.
I know you did it.
I supplied the salt.
I know you supplied the salt.
I like how none of my managers cared. Like, no one noticed that an entire, like, when Alan says like I gave him a whole bag of salt, like the one of the bags they ship us has like hundreds of salt packets. I just went in the bag, took it, and just gave it to him. It's literally what I did, basically.
Yeah, all
I
that
just
salt's been
gave it
used
to
up
him.
now.
I honestly debated on taking more than one of those out to you.
You
I was
should-
like, you know what? I kind of don't want to keep my job,
You
but
should've
now
taken me with
I
the
don't work there,
boxes.
so screw them. I should have taken the whole box.
Yeah, but then
What would you have done if I came over there with a whole box of them?
I put it in a bottle, man.
Oh my God, you are an absolute animal, man. You're insane.
No,
He's Alan.
I'm
Stupid.
Alan.
I'm sorry, that was me.
That was mean.
Love you, Nick.
All right, that is -1 point. All right, Hunter, what's
Wait,
your
I'm not
story?
done.
Or
I've
your
got a
thought?
little bit more. So then,
Okay.
and after we filled up this bottle, we stored it in the band closet. But then one day, it just kind of disappeared. And we don't know where it went.
What do you mean? Like the janitor Steve was like,
No, it's just
gonna
gone.
be here.
Yeah, it's just gone. We have no idea where it went. It's probably completely gone by now.
Yeah.
What would you do if one day you open up that closet and it's just there?
I'd cry in happiness.
You'd cry. How did I know you were
We
gonna say
spent
you'd
so
cry?
many hours filling up that bottle, and it's gone.
When it disappeared, were you guys like depressed?
Yeah.
All right, Hunter. Let me hear your topic.
Mine is called cafeteria table derby.
Okay, I want to. Just the title. That is 2 points.
So-
This better not be a letdown.
So
The title sounds cool.
this was more recent. This was after a band banquet where I somehow won. Like I won the Watertown High School Choir musicianship,
I know what story this is.
and I somehow won the Watertown High School Band Most Spirited Award.
I disagree
You won
with
most spirited.
Somehow,
I've never seen you be spirited for anything.
me
How
neither.
did you win that?
Yeah, don't know. Anyways,
What?
we were putting up tables. It was Alan's dad and Mr. Gene that asked us if we can fold up the tables and take them back to the cafeteria.
Okay.
Those tables, when you get them going fast, zoom down that hallway.
that. They make some weird sounds.
Oh, no.
So we're
Oh,
like,
no.
we're just gently taking them across, and then as soon as we got past the wall where no one in the commons area could see us, we took off, even though everyone can hear us.
Is
then
this
we-
the main hallway that I'm thinking of?
Yeah. And of course we
Thank God
slow
there's no
down.
glass.
Yeah, of course we slow down before we can hit any door or anything like that, and we just take them in there. We did this with every single table we took.
And you'd like sprint and then you'd hold yourself up off the ground.
Yeah, it was awesome. Okay, Mr. Corley told me to take back the podium to the theater room.
Yeah.
The podium also has wheels,
Oh no.
and I was like, "This must work the same as the tables. The tables have
You
wheels."
found out it was topside heavy. You told me that's what happened.
So I was taking it, and as soon as I got down into the ag hallway, I tried to turn it and sprint down that hallway and do it. And as soon as I try to run with it, it topples over. It toppled over. Part of it broke. The light shattered. The little light that they had, it was like a cheap $1 light, shattered. Alan walks back and he says, "Are you okay?" And I'm on the floor, getting up, lifting up the podium, and like, "Yeah, man." The wrist that I have my watch on, which is my left arm, bruised. Like it looked like I was getting kidnapped, and I was fighting back, kind of bruised. My shins were bruised. There's still a little knot in both shins. It cut one of my. What?
Are you saying that to this day there's
till this day there's still a little knot. It's not bruised
there's
anymore.
No way.
It's a small knot. It's not like as big as it was. And there was
It can't be. You have to have fractured it then. There must be a hairline fracture.
nah, it's fine.
Okay.
And there was a cut on my right leg. And I look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just bleeding and all that, blah blah blah. I was wearing pants, so somehow it got cut through the pants. It didn't cut the pants or anything like that. And I lifted up. I fixed the podium because the podium only popped out. Parts of it did. And I take it back. I put it back in the thing. I took the broken flashlight and I stuck it in the podium because there's no fixing it.
You just stuck it back in there. And
Yeah,
called
it was
a day.
it was broken. And then I was like, yeah. Now it looks like I was abused.
I have a great image in my head where Alan just turns the corner.
Yeah,
You get up.
because Alan
And
took one of the
clean
tables.
broken glass shards off you. You have like cuts all over you, bruised. You're limping. You're like, yeah, I'm fine, man. You know, just legs completely twisted backwards.
I was just
Like,
walking
you're
down the
just
hallway.
mangled.
Alan took one of the tables and he ran it to the cafeteria and he heard a boom, so he stopped and he walked back. And he was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, yeah, man. And then I get to that theater door, and it's locked. Come to find out, I had to go through the main theater doors,
Oh.
and I could have avoided that entire thing.
I helped him through the second part of this to make sure it
Yeah,
didn't happen
yeah.
again.
Yeah, I could
You
have
gotta
avoided
chaperone
the
him.
entire thing if Mr. C told me, "Hey, by the way, you're supposed to go through these doors."
Well, then maybe it would have
could
fallen over in the theater.
No, it wouldn't have, because I would have been smart, you know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you could have avoided it by just not doing that.
Oh, thanks, Captain Obvious.
You know what? That's -1 point.
Balls.
Insulting the judge.
And that same night, I have another story I'm going into, okay?
With the title?
And it's called Trash Juice.
Dude, I was literally going to tell that
Trash.
story and title it that.
Screw you, Alan.
You just went, too.
Well, you know
Okay,
what?
Alan.
I'm gonna get
I'll let
the
Alan.
title was trash, but since you have initiative over the other contestant today, I'll give you a point.
What? Who? What? Who?
For you, Hunter.
Hunter,
Oh,
tell
me?
the story.
Okay, so we got the green cart, you know, and green cart steering's broken on it. So we take it and we're putting the trash on it. We're gonna just take the trash out of the bins and put it, like just the bags on the cart. And Mr. C was like, "No, it's gonna leak everywhere." So we just took the bin as well.
This was the same night, by the way.
And
Yeah, same night. So, Mangled Hunter is taking out the trash currently.
yeah,
We were both doing
with
that.
Alan, and
With
we're
Alan.
taking it outside. It's
Were you stuck to
raining
school?
outside the school to the dumpster. It's raining, pouring down rain, or was it sprinkling? Which one was it, Alan?
It was more sprinkling.
Yeah. Oh, it was sprinkling at the time. It was pouring down rain later, I think.
Yeah.
We open the trash bins, and they're all full.
So, what was your brilliant idea?
We open the side doors,
Okay.
and
Oh, wait,
there was a spot.
Okay.
So I take my bag and I throw it in, and Alan gets his bag, and he lifts it up,
Slightly weaker than
and
Hunter.
trash juice falls all over him. And then he's like, "Well,"
That is disgusting.
he's like, "Well, my shoes now have trash juice on them."
That it was only a shoot. It was like did
No,
it
it
get
was his
all over
pants
him?
too. It was his pants too.
Like, the whole bottom half of my body. Trash.
Yeah.
juice.
And he puts it in the dumpster. We slide the door closed, and when we walk inside, we're like, yeah. So most of this is not rainwater. It's trash juice.
You should have told anyone that and just hugged everyone you could and then tell them.
And I don't know what made it so funny at the time. It was just a subtle, well, there's trash juice on me now. And the fact that Alan had to walk around in wet shoes and socks because the trash juice. It was combined with like tea, lemonade, water, chicken juice,
Food.
all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. Green
I
bean
bet- Did you
juice.
get a chance to taste it?
No,
Oh, I did.
but it was all over Alan.
You know what? Alan, you get a point for making me laugh right there.
Yes.
Even though it was Hunter's story.
Screw you, Alan.
Alright.
Hey.
After the previous story, Hunter earned 6 points for the previous story.
6
Current
points in
story.
total.
No, the 6 points you earned for the
Oh,
previous
okay,
story.
okay.
And the current story you told, you won 2.
Yeah, it wasn't a really.
And Alan won 1 point, even though it was your story.
Oh, thanks, man.
All right,
All
what is your topic? Now, I will say, I'll make it. Hold on, let me tally up the points to see if you really need the story to be good. All right, all right.
We're about to find out that Alan's had sex at school.
I wish.
Oh my. Okay, this is actually unintentional, but you both have 12. You both are tied right now.
Balls.
Alright, well, my story is called We Just Tried to Fix the Cart.
You know,
I knew you were gonna do that one next. I knew
that's
it.
a pretty good title. I will give you 1 point.
Alright, so it was like I think it was the last week of school, and we were in choir class. And Mr. C needed my help, Hunter's help, and Brandon's help to take out some sound system on the cart that had the broken steering. And we had to take that out and return it to somebody. So we did that, and then we realized then just how broken the cart was. Like, well, I mean, it wasn't that broken. It was pretty broken. The tires were flat, and the steering did not work at all. Which it was. It was a simple fix, right? Just needed to air up the tires, and it was just missing one bolt in the steering that held it all together.
And no one ever fixed it. No
No.
one took the initiative to fix it.
It's
That's
been
good.
like that the entire time we've had it.
That's great.
So then we got permission from Mr. C to take the cart to the ag shop and get it fixed up. So we go there, we try and work the air compressor to air up the tires. We couldn't figure it out because it was
How? Wouldn't it be
Dude,
simple?
it was like, but I don't. It was a really big.
We couldn't figure out how to turn it on.
Yeah, because it's not like the one that you have at your house. It's like a really big one, and you have to hook it up to actual air supply that's built into the building. And we did not know how to work any of that, so someone had to come and help us with that. They aired up the tires, and then we were like, all right, now we just need a bolt. So then we get Jordan's help to try and find a bolt, and so we go into the room that has all the hardware in it, and we're just sitting in there here for probably about 30 minutes while he's looking for a bolt.
Took some 30 minutes to look for a bolt.
Yeah, a bolt
Apparently-
and a nut to hold it in.
Yeah, apparently they didn't have. They just had a drawer full of random nuts and bolts.
And I think what they ended up doing is taking a couple of nails and just bending them to hold it in place.
What?
No, they actually found a bolt.
Oh, did they?
That's what Jordan was going to do. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
they're
he
like,
tried to do that,
"You're
but
an
it
idiot."
just fell through because it was too small.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would he think that?
And that's why size matters.
Anyways,
And
no. Let me clarify here.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not the size. It's about what you can do with what you
That
have
is
in your
true,
new
that's
that
house.
is
100% true.
I bet if it is too small,
firmly
then it's
believe
just
it.
gonna fall out.
No. If you have the right man behind it, it doesn't fall out.
I mean, I guess you're right.
Anyways, continue.
Anyways, so while we were sitting in there waiting for Jordan to look for a bolt, the bell rang, to signal the end of class. He kept looking for a bolt. We found one. He put it on. Then we left, and the bell rang again, which meant we were late for the next class. But luckily, our next class was also with Mr. C. He said that we came in about 10 minutes late. And we had fixed the cart.
It's pretty fun, pretty epic, you know.
That's
Great
it.
adventure.
Yeah, it was a really good adventure. Aired up tires.
That was the story right there.
That was the story,
Yep,
man.
That's it, man.
That was a terrible story. All right, Hunter.
Yeah, man.
You have one. I'm gonna make it interesting.
All right.
Alan earned some amount of points for that story. I'm
All
not
right.
gonna tell you how many.
All right.
I'll let you have the final story.
All right.
Yeah, we should
All
wrap
right.
it up
You
after
can
this
either
story.
you can either win this. Hope to God we don't tie it.
All right.
I want to see how that goes.
I'm be honest with you. I don't have a story in mind, but I'm coming up with one right now.
Okay.
Right as we speak.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
hear me out, okay? Why don't we just start some small talk, you know?
Well, I
For-
need to tell a short story so you can get yours
yeah,
together.
yeah, let's just have a little bit of small talk, you know, just
Okay.
a little bit of
Okay.
talking, a little bit of chatter, a little bit of you know. What are your thoughts on the number 0, Nick?
That was really funny to him.
I know.
I mean, it was a good joke, right?
Yeah, it's a very good joke.
It was a really good joke. But Nick is dying.
I think y'all need some explanation though for this joke.
Oh my god.
For
right.
for some reason in geometry class, Nick and I were in there,
Oh god.
sophomore year. We had to wear face masks and all that for
COVID
the beginning
times.
half of it, and we were learning. Nick and I think Miss Cantrell knew that Nick and I were friends, so she separated us for the most part of the year. And we'd look at each other whenever she's teaching, and she was like, she had a problem up on the board, and she asked, okay, she was showing us how to do it, and then she was like, and the answer is, Nick looks over at me with his stupid smile.
You can tell through the mask.
He was the most confident man in the world, and holds up 0. And then she says her answer, and then he looks down in defeat. And for some reason, that caused me to absolutely lose my crap.
And then I saw him lose his crap, and then I started losing it. And then it just started me and Hunter just trying to quietly, hysterically laugh. Like, quietly, without making a noise. And we were losing our minds.
like you know how when you're holding in a laugh, every now and then you'll like make like a noise.
Mhm.
It was that the entire time. She knew something was up. She just
probably
didn't
thought
say
we were
a
messing with her or
single thing. But it was the fact that he held up 0, most confident man on the planet.
The worst part is people started looking at us like, "Are you okay?" And we're just we're just laughing our brain. Like, I swear, like I was crying because I couldn't
Yeah.
breathe.
Oh,
I was laughing so
I was
hard.
crying.
Oh
I was
my
in
god.
tears. My face
Oh.
hurt. My core hurt.
Now, why was this so funny?
I don't know. It was the
It had to have
confidence
been
in
there.
him.
Is it just
was
like
the
one of those
confidence in the man.
situations where you just see other people laughing, then you just start laughing harder, and it just keeps spreading?
Look, I'm not gonna lie.
And it was only us two.
Yeah, and the thing was I was but the year before I did algebra 1A and 1B. I was pretty confident in math. I had that class the entire year, was like A's and B's. I knew what I was doing when it comes to math. Then we go over to geometry. I'm like, okay, I'm following along. All right, it's 0. I got this. I throw my pencil down on this, and like I lean back,
Yeah,
cross my arms, like I knew what the answer was.
his desk's right against the wall, so he leans against the wall, looks at me. He didn't have his face mask on because he took his off when he got to his desk. I had mine around my neck because it was like a frog tog. And he looks at me all confident with his smile, has his fist on his cheek, and he held up 0. And as soon as I lost it, I had to put my face mask back on, that way she couldn't see. And he was down. His face was on his desk. He was losing it.
You wanna know something that made it so much funnier when you made the title of that story?
What?
I didn't even think of that story today. I did not. I completely forgot that existed. God. I think those are one of the memories that you like shove deep down and want to forget, but it gets brought up, so it's forcefully brought back up into your memory.
Yeah.
God. Well, after that story,
Yeah, I will never forget that in geometry. That is the one thing in geometry I remembered.
Forgot everything else.
I actually
she was
did.
a terrible teacher. I didn't learn nothing from her.
Everything
I learned
I
nothing.
bullcrapped my way through geometry.
Oh, 100%.
Like whenever
The way I passed that class, I literally confronted her. I was like, "You haven't taught me anything this year." I laid it all out. The next day, my grade from a D to an A.
Nice.
I'm not kidding.
we had a whole like you remember when we went to virtual?
Yeah.
I was the only one answering the questions because I wasn't even paying attention. I was just like I was looking at it and I was like, wouldn't it just be this answer? And then she's like, very good, Hunter. That's bonus points. I was like, sweet.
That's how
And
you
then
pass that class with
Nick answered
virtual
him.
bonus points.
Yeah, Nick answered them too. Because I think did I text you the answers or were you just like, oh, this is easy?
I remember me and you were going back and forth, but all at the same time,
Cause we were in a
didn't have
Discord
our-
call.
we were in a Discord call. I remember
Yeah, we
we
always
would
sat
get in
the
Discord
call
calls,
during
and we would be
virtual.
playing like GTA in the background. We'd look over briefly. Oh, the answer's this. They go
Yeah.
back to GTA.
I still
Yeah,
have
she-
that voice channel we sat in here.
Of course.
Oh
you
wait, you
did.
do?
School
Where?
is important.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh,
God.
I mean, it is important.
It is.
Kind of.
That's why we sat in Discord through each school day.
Yeah. Even though
when we were like online schooling, I learned nothing from.
Oh,
any of
me
my
neither.
classes.
Yeah,
I
Like,
did
was
not.
just
My
playing
entire
Minecraft
like
the whole time.
I woke up and did nothing.
like Spanish, I didn't learn jack squat for Spanish 1. I
Oh,
didn't do
no,
anything
yeah.
for Spanish 1.
Nope. I learned nothing. I was
And-
honest with my teachers when we went back to school. I was like, "So you guys remember when we did this?" I'm like, "Nope, I wasn't paying
Nope.
attention."
Yeah. I
I
had
was just, nope.
Virtual was great.
I had personal finance for one of my classes, and what he did was took attendance and let us go, like Mr. Corley.
Hmm.
So what I did was I went to sleep. I went to sleep in Mr. Corley's band and choir classes and in personal finance after they took attendance.
Nice.
Want to know something funny? So you know Coach Hackeye does strength conditioning.
Yeah.
There's an app, Team Builder, that he makes. All the football players have to have it. Everyone else is optional. But he posts. That's where he posts the workouts. So we all get them. We all know what it is. We can put our weights into there, like what we're doing, how many reps, all that stuff. So it keeps track of all of it. Over the online period, when we're supposed to have the class, he would put workouts in there. I don't think anyone did them.
And there's
And
no way
since
for
we
him
weren't
to
in
tell.
the weight room, there was no way. Like literally, in the football group chat, we're all talking like, does he actually think we're doing this? Because since we weren't in the weight room, he'd be like, all right, I want 100 jumping jacks, 100 push-ups. I'm like, no, I'm just going to I'm gonna go to bed. And the thing was, somebody made a comment to it about Coach Jack and like made fun of him for it. And then he was like, I want you guys to send me videos of you doing it. I didn't send a single video. I said, screw that. I didn't. I'm not going to fail a strength and conditioning class by
That's
not
actually
doing a
kinda
workout
funny.
at home.
Well, if he tells you to do the same stuff each day, just use the same video.
Yeah.
I know what other people did. They'll do like a video of them doing 5 push-ups, and then that's it. And then
And
you
loop
just
it.
You did the rest. Just loop it 100 times.
5 jumping jacks, loop that too.
Yeah.
Honestly,
How
that's
long
what
do we-
Alan would do.
That's what I would do, 100%.
I am not smart enough to do it.
Get Alan to do
I would
it.
only send the 5 jumping jacks I did. I'm like, yeah, I did the rest, by the way.
You should have gotten Alan to do it.
If you sent me a video and asked me to loop it, I
I'm
could have done it.
so lazy that I wouldn't even. I'm that lazy.
But you were
Like,
you were
I have a computer problem that I attempted. I don't know how to fix it. It's a Windows. It's called Windows PowerShell x86. I do not know how to fix it. I have
I
no
know
idea.
what that is. I don't know why
Yeah,
it's opening,
I
but
don't know how
what
to get
that
rid of
is.
it. I
Hunter,
don't know how to get
when
rid
you're
of
not
it.
talking,
But anyways,
I'm getting weird sounds from you.
Oh yeah,
I
man.
am
No
also
problem.
getting weird sounds from you.
Well, we should wrap up right about now.
Oh yes, and I guess it is time for our podcast of Impressionable today. But before we go, there's points that need to be tallied up. And next, we need to discover who the next host is going to be.
Your voice changes when you're talking to everyone.
I know, right? So,
Wow, was that insulting, Nick?
all right. Anyways, enough insulting the judge.
I'm sorry.
Hunter coming out with a strong 17 points in the end.
17 points. Hey, that's not bad. I don't think.
And then Alan coming in with 14 points. I am sorry to
not bad.
say, but Hunter has officially won this week's Impressionable.
Wait, you're sorry to say it?
Yeah, it's kind of sad, man.
Yeah.
But hey,
He
at least we all
has
get to host at least
officially
once before you
won,
never
and
win
he will
again.
be hosting next week's video of Impressionable. Since I want to go down in history that I am the first contestant to win an episode of Impressionable. The first person to do so. Therefore, I'm the best, and automatically I should get 5 points before every contestant. You know, it's only fair.
Hunter, the same thing's happening to you.
Anyway, that means that's our cue. We have to go. Impressionable doesn't even want us to continue going anymore. They're sick and tired of our high school problems that we had.
So do I get to wrap this baby up?
Yeah.
I mean, you are the host now.
All right. We will see you next week with another episode. Take care. See you soon. Podcast out.